After months of bad breaks, bad pit stops, good old-fashioned bad luck, tonight Ryan Blaney finally breaks through. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. I am here at Nashville Super Speedway. The Cracker Barrel 400 just wrapped up. We have so much to get to tonight. You'll hear from many of the top finishers. We'll discuss notable storylines. A few playoff bubble drivers unfortunately took big hits in the standings. But before we can get to all of that, this episode is sponsored by Tableau. You probably saw Tableau yesterday on Ryan Ellis's number 71 Xfinity Series Chevrolet. Tableau is a DVR and over-the-air tuner that allows you to watch and record live broadcast channels, plus many free streaming channels. And remember, Tableau does not charge a subscription. It is a one-time purchase. You connect it to an antenna, link it to your Wi-Fi, and then you can stream local channels right to your smart TV, tablet, or phone. And yes, you can pause, rewind, or record your favorite shows and NASCAR races. Setup is easy. Plug in your antenna, power it up, scan for channels using the Tableau app, and in just a few minutes, you're watching live local TV. Many NASCAR races are broadcast on Fox, NBC. You can watch the entire Xfinity Series schedule on the CW. You can cheer on Ryan Ellis every week.
Like Dylan Welch asked if the car glows in the dark. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't think that's legal, but it looks like it does.
Click the link down below to learn more about Tableau, and be sure to use code ERICE at checkout for $20 off any product at TableauTV.com. Huge thank you to Tableau for sponsoring me, for sponsoring Ryan Ellis. Let's talk Nashville. And as usual, I think we should start at the finish. Ryan Blaney gets his first win of the season. You give long run Ryan Blaney clean air and it's over. You have no chance. I've faced criticism, especially the last few weeks, for continuing to rank Ryan Blaney in my top 5, top 6 during my weekly power rankings. And I get it. He had a couple of top 5s there at Texas, at Kansas, sure, but he didn't run particularly well at Charlotte, then got wrecked. But my thing has been, look at the deeper data. Look at the laps led. Look at the average running position. Look at the stage points earned. Blaney has been top 2, top 3 in stage points earned all season long. He wins a stage tonight, no surprise. The speed has been there consistently all year long. What hasn't always been there is the execution, and that is where maybe it's fair to dock Blaney some points in my power rankings. Not tonight, of course, but in the past, the pit crew has messed up. That cost him perhaps at Darlington. They then swapped out the rear changer, and pit crew looked pretty solid tonight. Blown motor at Homestead Miami Speedway, fluky wrecks like last weekend in the Coca-Cola 600. These aren't speed problems. Again, if anything, it's the little details, it's execution sometimes, but the speed, especially over long green flag runs, has been really consistent all year long. Tonight's race ended with a very long green flag run. Ryan Blaney had clean air. He had track position. You're not beating long run Ryan Blaney in a race like this one. So Ryan Blaney gets the win. That's back-to-back Nashville wins for Team Penske.
I love my guys because, we didn't finish the race last week. It's been a rough year so far. And they don't ever think anything negative ever. They just go to the week, go to the next week and the next racetrack and prepare like we're going to win the race and prepare like the championship team that they are.
A big moment in this race actually happened in stage 1 when Jonathan Hassler opted to run Ryan Blaney long. In fact, I think Paul Wolfe did the same with his teammate Joey Logano. The Penske cars ran longer during that green flag cycle. Then at the end of stage 1 during the caution, they were able to take only 2 tires, restart up front, and Blaney at least never relinquished that track position the rest of the night. So that call from Jonathan Hassler, he deserves a lot of credit for as well. That put Blaney in the right position, and then the pit crew and Ryan executed the rest of the way. Deserving winner, Ryan Blaney gets on the board. He is officially locked into the playoffs, gained 6 playoff points tonight. Huge night for YRB. Finishing second tonight, second-year driver Carson Hocevar. Man, 1 week ago, he was side-by-side racing for the lead late in the Coca-Cola 600. When the engine let go, didn't let that keep him down. He comes back this weekend and finishes in the runner-up position. Carson Hocevar, though, was kind of bittersweet post-race after what I thought was a really strong performance.
It feels really good. It sucks when you finish second, knowing of the difference, right? That's your year if you win. All those bad races don't matter if we win a race today. So feels really good, especially going to Michigan. Qualifying draw, I think, is going to be super important. Home race, I think that's going to fit us even better than here. But yeah, it stings. But I normally stings until about Monday or Tuesday, and then you still feel good about it. Of just at least the speed and execution we had.
I get it. Look, every driver in the garage wants to win. They don't want to talk about points racing, being on the playoff bubble. I talked to Chris Buescher, I talked to Ryan Preece, I talked to AJ Allmendinger this weekend. They all said the same thing. We don't talk about points. It's about winning. Win and get in. That's your ticket into the playoffs. Carson Hocevar had a chance to punch his ticket tonight, but just did not have the pace to keep up with Ryan Blaney. So second is great, but he's still on the playoff bubble. The ultimate goal is to win a race. If you win a race, all your problems go away. That's what he said. I'm really impressed with Carson Hocevar, though. Only 22 years old. We know he's fast. We've known that for a couple of years. He had Nice Motorsports contending for a Truck Series championship just a couple of years ago. We know he has raw talent, pace, speed, needs some refinement, but I'm shocked that his skills have adapted so quickly to this radically different next-gen car. It's not been that easy for Ty Gibbs, for example. Superstars like Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, admittedly, have struggled to adjust. I mean, I guess Carson is so young, and so you don't know what you don't know. He's never known a Cup Series car other than the next-gen car. So maybe that's actually an advantage. But I am so impressed with his speed the last couple of weeks. And you look ahead to Michigan International Speedway. That is a huge opportunity. Home race for Carson. He's a Michigan boy. High-speed oval. I think that's right in his wheelhouse. First win feeling? Coming soon? Sooner rather than later? Circle Michigan next week, Carson Hocevar fans. This really was the classic Carson Hocevar experience because he was extremely fast, really impressive at the end, but he also ruffled some feathers. Early in this one, he got into Ricky Stenhouse Jr., sent Stenhouse spinning up into the wall. Unfortunately, this was Ricky Stenhouse's first DNF of the season, and he didn't deserve to get wrecked like that. If you ask me, in my opinion, if this happens on lap 290, I'd put the blame as 50-50. Carson is being aggressive for sure, but Stenhouse, left the door open, came down a bit. But because this was early in the race, this was stage 2, I think, early stage 2, and Carson needs to know that that's not the time and place to push the issue. Stenhouse has a right to be frustrated. He seemed to indicate that payback of some kind might be coming Carson's way in the future, and I get it. Carson, very aggressive. That's more accepted with 10 laps to go. It's not as accepted 10 laps into stage 2. Carson, that's one thing he has to learn, is picking and choosing his battles, when to turn the aggression up, when to turn it down. I think he made a slight misjudgment there, and it cost Ricky Stenhouse Jr. some very important points. So don't blame Ricky for being upset at all. He has every right. This was Carson's reaction to the accident post-race.
I felt like I was there enough, right, to get a call inside and have him just kind of run the middle. Honestly, he probably could have cleared me, so that's just what I expected him to do, and he didn't. And by the time I checked up, I almost spun too. So, yeah, if he wants to talk, I'll be gladly to talk. But I feel like it's just a product of this, unfortunately. It's just everybody just kind of tries to get there, and I think there were a bunch of people that got shipped that either didn't wreck or did get wrecked.
So many storylines tonight. Denny Hamlin finishes third. I saw Ryan Truex on pit road before the race in street clothes, but standing over by the number 11 pit box on standby in case Denny had to rush home to North Carolina for the birth of his son. Denny was able to run all 300 laps, all 400 miles tonight, gets a strong top 5 finish. Won the opening stage, so that is a playoff point. Check, nice. Top 5 finishes as well for Joey Logano, backs up his 2024 Nashville win, and William Byron extends his regular season points lead. Bubba Wallace rallied to finish 6th. He needed that. Entering this race, Bubba's last 3 finishes were 33rd, 33rd, 35th. He was 7th in the regular season standings. Suddenly he found himself on the playoff bubble tonight. And early in this race, Bubba made an unforced error, sped on pit road, fell off the lead lap. He took advantage of all the cautions in stage 2 to get that lap back and then charged through the field, finishes 6th. Hard to pass out there tonight. That is no small feat. Bubba was just happy to get some positive momentum going after what's been a rough few races.
Just give everybody their morale back and their confidence back is big for us. And we knew we could do it. We just needed to close it out and execute, and we did it tonight.
7th place for Eric Jones. Legacy Motor Club is unrecognizable. This is not the same team as last season. Last season, Jones, Nemechek were outside the top 30 most weeks. Now, Nemechek is a few top 10s in recent weeks. Eric Jones was top 10, top 5 all night long, earning stage points. This team has turned a corner. A lot of positive momentum. Eric Jones, post-race, talking about what this finish means and maybe what's clicked, what's changed at Legacy in the past year. How did they find this speed?
I feel like our mile and a half stuff has been our best, and we just haven't had a good solid full day. We've had times where we've ran up front and haven't finished them out. So this was just a clean day, no mistakes on anyone's part really, and got the best we could out of the car. So, end of 23 we were okay, but that's the last time we've been this good. So, consistently, I don't know that we've ever been where I feel we are right now, at least on the mile and a half package. So yeah, it's not one thing. It's hard to just say that, but it's been everybody working hard to make everything better overall.
Kyle Larson was not very good in practice yesterday. He qualified 28th, and then in the opening laps today, got shuffled to the very back of the field. Despite those setbacks, he finishes inside the top 10. What do I always say about Larson? Short memory. It was an up and down, tumultuous roller coaster ride throughout the month of May. Memorial Day weekend was an all-time low in many respects, but Larson was able to put that behind him, bounce back with a solid effort. Hendrick Motorsports did not have winning speed tonight. Even William Byron, who was hovering in the top 5 most tonight, he didn't have Blaney speed. I don't think he had Hamlin speed. He didn't seem to have Hocevar's speed even. So a night when Hendrick didn't really have it, for Kyle Larson to drive from effectively last to 8th just shows you how good he is at not letting things snowball usually. Like he's just so good at compartmentalizing and just focusing on the task at hand. Good result for Larson.
Have a team that stays in it, a pit crew that stays in it, crew chief, driver, all of that. So you don't want to have days like today, but it does encourage you when you can kind of fight your way through it and get the best finish possible, which today was an 8th. So yeah, happy with it, but need to be better so you don't have to fight that hard.
Top 10s for Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, who spun earlier in this race trying to throw a block on Eric Jones, it looked like. Hit the outside wall pretty hard. Apparently didn't damage the 22 bad because he was still able to run top 10. There you go. Some top finishers right there. A few drivers who ran into trouble. I already talked about Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He entered this race 15th on the playoff grid. He is now outside of the playoffs as things currently stand after his incident with Carson Hocevar. Ryan Preece spun out as well. He entered this race 16th on the grid. Not going to help his bubble chances. Alex Bowman is a driver that I really believe in, but it's like he's pressing or something. He has made several mistakes in recent weeks that have taken his team out early, and he's falling closer and closer to the playoff bubble himself, and that's a Hendrick Motorsports car. You can't be on the bubble when your teammates are leading the points. I just think back to Darlington. Bowman got into the wall, bent a toe link, ruined a top 10 day. Go back to, I think it was Texas. The pit crew made a mistake, stuck him back in traffic, got caught up in a wreck. Last weekend at Charlotte, he hit the wall and wrecked. Tonight, just overdrove the corner and spun himself and Noah Gragson, limped home the rest of the night, just throwing points away. We know Alex Bowman is not going to go out and dominate very often, lead a bunch of laps and stack up wins. We know he's not going to do that. He hasn't done that in 5 years. So if we can't count on you to win races, you got to be consistent. You got to bang out the top 10s and top 5s, take what the car gives you. And I just feel Bowman is stepping a little too far, trying a little too hard maybe. He's trying to find the limit, but unfortunately keeps going over the limit as we've seen the past couple of weeks. So I came into the season a big Alex Bowman believer, mainly because I thought he would be really consistent. He has not been consistent the past few weeks, and unfortunately they are plummeting down the standings. A couple more drivers I want to mention, not really points related here, but Shane Van Gisbergen. He finished outside the top 20 tonight, but he raced in that 15th to 20th range most of the evening, and that's 2 weeks in a row. He was top 20 during the entire Coke 600, finished 14th. I'm just going to point out that we've seen some small improvements from SVG at the ovals the last 2 weeks. 2 textbook intermediate ovals, completely different surfaces, slightly different dimensions, different banking, yet back-to-back weeks, SVG has legitimately been able to race in and around the 20th position. Baby steps. The road courses are coming. The road courses are coming, but it's interesting to see how SVG develops at the ovals. And then one more driver I'll mention, speaking of development, Corey Heim, making his second Cup Series start of the season. wrecked. He drove, to his credit, from 33rd starting spot to like 20th at the end of the first stage, and then he drove his way up to 12th when he cleared himself off of 4 off the front bumper of Brad Keselowski and wrecked. Just a bad mistake. He owned it on Twitter after the race. Yeah, you can't make that mistake. Corey Heim has proven in his 2 Cup starts this year that he has the speed, the pace to run with the Cup Series regulars, obviously. But he has made a couple mistakes. He made a small restart mistake at Kansas and caused a wreck. Didn't cost him. And then tonight he, just ignored his spotter, it seemed, and wrecked himself. So that's young driver without much Cup Series experience, making some rookie mistakes. But what's still encouraging about Heim is that he obviously has the pace. Again, he drove from 33rd to 12th at a place that's extremely hard to pass. So a lot of promising signs there from Heim, but another mistake unfortunately took him out of this one. Oh my, is that time already? All right. The Groovy Gauge is powered by electric e-bikes. This is the 5th year now we've come to Nashville Super Speedway. Man, where does the time go? Sellout crowd, that was awesome. Atmosphere all weekend was great. Weather, a little warm, but overall really nice. Tires didn't matter much tonight, however. We did see some chaos in the second stage. Guys could not stay off of each other for half a lap, it seemed. We got the 5 overtimes out of the way in the middle of this race so that we could still end in regulation, I guess. The bumps in 4 were treacherous. We saw that bite Kyle Busch and Josh Berry in practice. Well, it didn't seem to be a huge issue in the race tonight, but this track has some character. It's not a bad racetrack. It's very difficult to pass, and that's largely a next-gen issue. This track does have 2 pretty distinct lines, so you can get out of that dirty air a little bit, but it is easy to aero block. It's easy to defend your position here compared to other tracks. We did see some phenomenal racing at the end of stage 2 between Hamlin, Byron, and Blaney. 3 of the best drivers in the business representing the 3 best teams. The 3 manufacturers put on a whale of a show. They were swapping the lead back and forth. That was awesome. As the track cooled off, as nighttime came, I think the track became racier. A few more opportunities to make passes, but the next-gen car needs work. And I don't know that concrete tracks are like it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know that the surface makes all the difference, but like I'm trying to put some like trends here. Like Bristol, it's a concrete track. Nashville, hit and miss, also concrete. I don't know. I mean, I don't expect them to repave this place, but if they did, I guess don't do it concrete again. Anyway, this was a pretty good race. Anticlimactic finish with Blaney holding on to a 3-second lead, but I'm going to give it a 75%. If you came to this race looking for action, you got it in stage 2 with the wrecks and the thrilling stage 2 finish, but when it was all said and done, dominant team, dominant driver, got a dominant victory. At least it was deserving. No flukes like 1 year ago. So that's my score. Wait, what did I say? 70 or 75? 75. Did I say 70? I'm going to say 75. 75% is my score for this race here at Nashville Super Speedway. Still kind of an old school name. I know because it's over a mile long. By the old school definition, it's a super speedway, but they're not drafting here. There's no pack racing at Nashville. Anyway, let me know if you agree with my assessment of the overall race down in the comment section below. I did not get to see much bugs flying around, much of the Amazon Prime Video broadcast. I hope it was good. I'm sure I'll go back this week and rewatch much of the broadcast and get a vibe for how Letarte Jr. and Adam Alexander were in the booth. But had a great time. Fun to meet so many fans, great crowd, and some really good racing. I'm always happy to see a deserving winner. I hope you enjoyed tonight's race, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. It helps me out. Also helps me out if you hit that subscribe button. We react to every single Cup Series race, talk NASCAR news and rumors Monday through Friday, every single week, all year long. Really appreciate your support. Helps me cover these races in person, bring you some comments from the competitors. I appreciate the support. I head back home in the morning, so I'm going to go get some rest. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll talk to you again real soon.